Modern-day men face various problems in their lives: work-life balance, mental health, loneliness, financial pressure, poor body image, etc. In this video, I'll show you how initiating conversations with women can solve most of these issues. My name is Gus Olson. I'm an ex-engineer turned dating coach for logical men. So how do most men try to solve these issues? Some men might double down on work, hoping financial success will compensate for the imbalance. Some men suppress their emotions through alcohol or distractions like gaming or Netflix. Some men turn to online dating or even OnlyFans to get some human connection, which mostly leads to ghosting, rejection, and fake connections. Some men even take drastic measures with plastic surgery or hair transplants to improve their body image. The reason that these strategies don't work is that they're trying to cure the symptom and not the root cause. Now, what are the real root causes for the challenges of modern men? Lack of self-esteem. Many men struggle with the inadequacy or the belief that they're not good enough. This is why many rich and physically fit men are still very insecure, and most of their behavior is driven to seek validation from other people, which makes them unchronically unhappy. Neediness. This lack of self-worth often manifests itself as neediness and clingy behavior. This is why you see many men obsessing with that one girl from work or that one date that didn't text them back. And this feeling of neediness can be extremely draining. Fear of rejection, whether in dating or career, holds many men back from taking risks or putting themselves out there. And when you're afraid to put yourself out there and don't take action, frustration starts to build up. Every time you see a girl that you want to talk to and don't, you avoid fear of rejection, but instead you let your frustration build up layer by layer. And the long-term feeling of frustration and regret is way worse than the short-term fear of rejection. Lack of social skills. Many men struggle with expressing themselves socially, especially in intimate and romantic situations. You want to do something about your social and dating situation, but you can't do it by yourself. So you have to rely on external factors for help, hoping that the Tinder algorithm will give you those matches, or your friends will set you up with someone. This gives you less sense of control over your own life and leads you to feeling trapped because you feel like you can't do much about it and you have to rely on factors outside of your control. And ultimately, you start to lose the feeling of autonomy, which again can be very frustrating. Finally, limited emotional intelligence. Some men have difficulty recognizing or managing their own emotions, let alone understanding the emotions of other people. I just don't understand women. That's what a lot of men say, when in reality, they just don't understand themselves. So with all of this being said, this is how I was able to solve all of these issues by repeatedly initiating conversations with women in real life. First of all, just to even talk to women, I had to get over my fear of rejection. It was very difficult at first, but over time I got desensitized to it and it lost the power over me. And after that, I wasn't afraid of it anymore. I could talk to anyone, apply to any job I wanted, call anyone without the fear of rejection. After that, I had to learn to show intent and the fact that I liked them. Sometimes I failed to do so. Sometimes I was too forward and I got blown out. But over time, I learned to calibrate my interactions. And in the process of doing so, I learned a high degree of social skills that later on I could apply to other areas of my life, like my career. For example, after learning day game, I got into sales and did various sales jobs: face-to-face sales, phone sales, and later on SaaS technology sales. And without any public speaking courses, I could easily give a presentation or a pitch to my clients with no problems. I used to think that I was an introvert. Then I realized I just lacked social skills. When I improved my social skills, I started getting a lot more dates with women, which decreased my sense of neediness. I knew if things don't work out with this particular girl, I have the ability to generate new dates pretty much on command, just by relying on myself and no one else. Of course, doing a lot of dates was an emotional roller coaster. Sometimes a girl I really liked would cancel. Sometimes we would have a date and she wouldn't text back. In the beginning, it was very tough, but with each time I learned better to manage my own emotions and stay non-reactive. And ultimately, with having all of these dates, I learned a lot about women and their own emotions. Instead of reading books on female psychology or listening to some red pill YouTuber, I just interacted with loads of women and learned about them from real life experience. This also made me very good at listening and understanding people in general, which again I could apply to other relationships in my life and even work. And ultimately, going through all of this journey from shy kid with no understanding of people and no women in my life to someone who I am now, it gave me a solid self-esteem. No longer I measured myself by my muscles, amount of money I'm making, or likes on my Instagram posts, but by how much I felt free in the world. And these new sets of social skills gave me a feeling of freedom I never had before. So essentially, by initiating conversations with women and doing day game, I solved the root level problems that most men face. And the surface level problems that I mentioned in the beginning, loneliness, mental health, body image, financial pressure, logically just became an afterthought. Now, a lot of people might say, well, yeah, I can understand how it could solve your dating problems and loneliness, but you still have to make money to survive, right? Here's the thing that no one mentions. When you have a solid self-esteem, you stop spending that much money on status things, like cool cars or designer clothes, and this decreases your costs. The most expensive things in life are status things, which ironically have the least practical value. Now, on the other hand, when you improve your social skills, you can make significantly more money in almost any field. Also, a good dating life and mental health makes you happier and hence more productive. And this delta is the increase in your disposable income. So if you're listening to this, doing a lot of day game and getting good at it solved most of my life's deepest problems. And if you do it consistently, it will solve yours too.